All right, once you have your site set up, now you can go ahead and start adding pieces. I recommend adding just a little welcome screen or a welcome text to your home page. This first page here that you're looking at is your home page. You can always change this later on or add additional pages, which we'll cover later on. As far as changing text size and fonts, Google Sites doesn't give you very many options, so that while you're creating your site, it's very quick and efficient. You don't have to worry too much about, oh, what size am I going to make it? So they really limit you to these sizes here. So title is the largest, small obviously is the smallest, and then all these others in between. One of the really cool things about Google Sites is the drag and drop feature. So you can click text box and it'll add a nice little text box here, and you can begin typing something. I'm going to make this a heading because I want this to be, a point of focus, and then I'm going to want my heading to be centered. And this could be anything that you want. So I just picked something very generic here, virtual field trip assignment. People begin to ask, well, how do I change the font color? How do I change the font? Google Sites limits you on what you can do with your text so that your site stays clean. If you start playing around with one font up here and one font down here and one font in the next section and pink up here and yellow here, the site begins to clash in terms of color, font, consistency. So what Google has done is they've limited your choices to keep your site very clean and very consistent. So we've talked about a few things that you can do here. You can change the subheading, but again, not many choices, but it is going to keep your site very clean. Over here off to the side, you can change the background, but again, very few choices. But if you notice, again, everything is kind of pre-programmed in to keep the site looking very consistent. They're not going to match a purple font with a green background because those things tend to clash. And also keeps you working very efficiently because you don't have to worry about I wonder what colors are going to work well together, because Google has already pre-programmed all that in. There are some things you can do with images, which we'll talk about later. If you like this heading and you just want to duplicate it, you can hit the little duplicate button. If you do that by accident and you want to get rid of the layer, you just click the delete button. Now, once you've added a heading, you can just add on another text box. It gives you options like bulleted points, numbers. You can italicize, you can bold things, you can center them. You can hyperlink text, which we'll get to a little bit later on. This little 3-button drop-down menu will give you strike through. If you copy and paste from a website and the website makes things look all weird, when you copy and paste over, you can highlight it and click clear formatting, and it makes it into plain text. This here, where it says code font, that does not give you the option to change font. It's just for people who want to code or make it look like code. Again, unless you're a coder, you don't need it. So are there a few hacks for getting the colors in different style fonts? There are a few workarounds which we'll talk about later on.